stranger and I feel so rough. No, you didn't have to stop so long. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to be. Somebody. No matter what we party tonight, I'm gonna live my life. I know that we gon' be alright.
Yo, hell yeah, dirty bass. Ghetto girl, you drive me crazy. Hell yeah, dirty bass. Yo, this beat make me go wild. This drink make me fall down. I party hard like carnival. Let's burn this mother down. This bass make me go eight. These girls circus so late. Yo, that's hella cake with a Cali shake. I got dough, who's down to bake? Yeah.
Oh my dirty bass like that. I can work that bag. Let me get that. Get your ass on the floor. Oh my dirty bass that small. I can break that off. Let me get that. Get your ass on the floor.
I'm gonna live my life. No matter what we party tonight, I'm gonna live my life. I know that we gon' be alright, alright, alright.
Dirty bass, ghetto girl, you drive me crazy. Hell yeah, dirty bass.
No matter where we be at VIP or in the C-Lag, all we need to start it is some speakers in my G-Chat. I spy a couple hotties hollering where the party we at. Girl, move it like Pilates, put your head where your knee at. Oh my dirty bass like that. I can work that bag. Let me get that. Get your ass on the floor.
I'm gonna live my
you. I'm just confused as I stand here and look at you from head to feet. All that's for me. Go ahead, keep it